If you like this video, hit the bell icon and subscribe. Every time I see this video, I feel a bit like a fake. And the reason I'm saying that is because in the last 1 year, every time I see this video, I realize that I have just lost the habit of reading. And it seems like it's not just me. I've been getting a lot of messages from a lot of people as well, saying that they just can't get themselves to start reading again. And that's why I feel like this video, it's for two types of people. Those who want to get on that journey and start reading, and those who have lost the habit of reading and want to start reading all over again. I also have a request that I would like to make to each and every one of you in the tribe. I know you have already noticed this, but the views in the channel, they're falling drastically. So if you like this video, which I know you will, could you please make sure that you share it everywhere? There's Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and don't forget to like it, and more so, comment, so that the algorithm can start picking up Wax videos again. My name is Freesia, this is Wax, and together we are going to start becoming readers. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about these 5 books. So if at any point you feel like you've read any of them, I have put the timestamps in the description, and you could just jump to a section where you're going to discover a new book for your library.
If you don't invite God to be your summer guest, He won't come in the winter of your life. Autobiography of a Yogi.
I discovered this book when I was around 21 years old, and after reading this book, I also decided to go and do Vipassana. Maybe we'll talk about that on another day in another video, what my experience was like. But what I did realize is that this is the perfect book if you do want to go on to some kind of spiritual, esoteric journey. Because it takes a very heavy subject and it talks about it in this beautiful, light-hearted manner. Paramahansa Yogananda, he is fantastic. Not only does he talk about his journey in a very slightly humorous way and a very real way, but he also explains and he gives you facts about yogis. Like, did you know that a yogi could survive for 5 years without water or food? And some of the things that he says at first, I'm sure a person would be like, oh, that's not possible. But I've also linked videos in the description where you could even see yogis today who are doing exactly what he was talking about 70 years back. This book has been translated in almost 46 languages. This book has been read by some of the greats. Virat Kohli, Rajnikant, Steve Jobs made sure that this book was even distributed during his funeral. So if you want to get onto that spiritual path, but you want to take little baby steps towards it, I think this is the perfect book to get onto that journey.
And when all the wars are over, the butterfly will still be beautiful. Ruskin Bond.
I love Ruskin Bond. In fact, I love him this much. I would love to boast and say, oh, I've read every Ruskin Bond book, but he's written like close to 120, 150 books. This book, The Room on the Roof, this was his first book ever. He wrote it at the age of 17 and he even won an award for it. And what I love about this book is that it was written by a 17-year-old, so it's very simple and very easy to read. Even a school child could sit and read this book. And it's that perfect coming-of-age book. It talks about Ruskin's love for India, how he fell in love with this country, the kind of relationships that we share with each other. We have this sense of community over here, and that was something that he didn't have while he was growing up in England. And he talks about friendship, he talks about coming of age, falling in love for the first time. It is so simple, so sweet, and so adorable. And of course, it is a breeze to read. You would be surprised, or maybe not, even a video like this has some pretty hilarious bloopers. And I put up a lot of my bloopers, my NG takes, and other books and articles that I am reading on my Patreon. I would love it if you would come and support my work and subscribe to my Patreon. The link is in the description as well as in the end of this video.
We always think there's enough time to do things with other people, time to say things to them. And then something happens, and then we stand there holding on to words like if. A man called Ove.
The reason I'm not holding some of the books that I am talking about today is because I had a copy, but someone borrowed it and never returned them. If I did get my hands on a copy, I definitely would read some of these books, especially A Man Called Ove. When you buy a new chappal or a pair of shoes, they're pretty hard and it's very rigid. But the more that you start wearing them, the shoe, it becomes malleable, it takes the shape of your foot, and suddenly it becomes your most favorite pair of shoes. Ove, he's exactly like that. He's very rigid, and he in fact reminds me of that Khadus uncle from your building
Ser mer ut som en vinterkänga med ögon.
who's always scowling and always judging you, and you're really scared and afraid of him. But the more you read this book and a lot of chapters in, Ove is the kind of person that you will fall in love with. He definitely is for me, one of the most memorable fictional characters, and I think he will become that for you as well. In the book, Ove himself says that he sees the world as black and white, and it was his wife who used to see the world in color. And for me, this book, it's heartwarming and it's hilarious and it's heartbreaking at the same time. It's the kind of book that your heart, your mind, and your soul will love. Basically, it's all human.
The most important thing we learn at school is the fact that the most important things can't be learned at school. Murakami, what I talk about when I talk about running.
Yeah, this is me flexing my collection before you talk about that in the comment section. But this is also how much I love Murakami. And I know that Murakami is a very complex writer, and a lot of people feel very intimidated as soon as you say Murakami. And you must be wondering why Murakami is in my list of recommendations for setting you on that path to be a reader. Because this particular book, what I talk about when I talk about running, it is such a light read. It's unlike any other Murakami, because over here he is talking about running from a very personal point of view, and it's his journey. And I have to confess, that was one of the reasons why I picked this book also, because I love running and I have this beautiful relationship with it. But slowly you start realizing that Murakami is not just talking about running. He's talking about self-grit. He's talking about determination. He's talking about what happens to the human body when you put it to that ultimate test. How much we can push ourselves, not just physically, but mentally as well. And you know that I also love exercising, and I love putting myself into those situations. And so I truly believe that this book in particular, it's one of those self-help books that is entertaining, motivating, and it will allow you to flex in front of your friends and say, hey, I've read a Murakami.
He taught us that there is unqualified love, how to give it, how to accept it. Mali and me.
In this video, I've spoken on a book on spirituality, on self-help and determination. One on coming of age and the other one on getting old. And maybe none of these topics were appealing to you. So if you're the kind of person who likes to read Shakespeare, or if you're the kind of person who likes to open the newspaper, read just the comic section and close the newspaper, then this book is something that you definitely will love. Mali and Me, it was made into a film, but the book, it's way better. The author, he has this beautiful ability to bring tears of joy and tears of sadness, and he takes you on this roller coaster journey of him and Mali, and he does it in the most amazing way. This is a laugh riot, and everybody loves a good comedy. So that's it. These are my 5 recommendations. I definitely think that you should go straight into that comment section and put your recommendations down, because a lot of you in the tribe love reading books. My name is Freesia. This is WAC, and I'll catch you guys again very soon. Ciao.